All right, so graphing inequalities. So we're going back over this. We've done this already, but we're going to go into systems. So I just want to give a refresher on what we need to be doing. So the first step that we want to do is rewrite the inequality in slope-intercept form. So y equals mx plus b, where b equals the y-intercept and m is slope. Then we graph the y-intercept on the y-axis. Then we use the slope to plot the second point, so using rise over run. And if the symbol looks like the greater than or less than sign without an equal to line underneath, then it's dotted. If it does have the equal to symbol, then it's a solid line. And we always shade where the inequality is true. So we pick a point, such as 0, 0, that is on one side of the inequality to substitute into the inequality. And if it's true, we shade. If not, you shade the opposite. Then there's another way to do it. So you can look at if y is greater than or it's greater than or equal to, you can shade above the line, but you have to pay attention to where above the line truly means. It can be a steep line, so you want the y-axis to be above the line. And then if it's y less than or y less than or equal to, you shade below. So same thing, you need to pay attention to that. If you start going off of that reasoning, that's fine, but maybe checking yourself, picking a point, and you can do the math in your head, write it down, whatever you need to do, so that you can be reassured that you are choosing the correct side to shade. And you always want to watch for dividing or multiplying by a negative. This will flip the inequality symbol, so we have to pay attention to that. So the only one that I'm going to do with you is number 1. So graph each linear inequality. Like we just read, we need to rewrite the inequality in slope-intercept form. So the best way to do that, we need to remember y equals mx plus b. This is clearly not in that form, so we need to write it that way. So I need to subtract 4x from both sides, and then I'm in y equals mx plus b form. So that's perfect. Real simple, real easy. So I always start with plus b, which is plus 3 here. So I go from the origin up 3, plot a point, and then I'm going to use the slope. And remember, it's like rise over run. Any whole number can be written over 1. So we have negative 4, just like negative 4 over 1. It's the same. So I don't want to rise up 4 because it takes me off the graph. So we're going to go down 4. And then we're going to go to the right 1. This is the negative slope. So from left to right, this needs to be diving down. So let's do that one more time from the new point we just did. So down 4 to the right 1. I'm going to erase that point there. And then we need to pay attention. If the inequality is just greater than or just less than, it's a dotted line. And here, it's just greater than. So this is going to be a dotted line all the way down. And then now we need to think about shading. So we shade to the side of the graph that makes the inequality true. So here, you can pick a point. I would always pick 0, 0 if possible. And we're going to substitute 0 in for y and substitute 0 in for x. So we have 0 less than 0 plus 3. 0 less than 3, is that true? You should be saying, no, that is not true. So we are going to shade on the opposite side. We're not going to shade where 0, 0 is because we said it was untrue. All right. And there is an example of that. So just pay attention to rewriting the inequality, graphing the y-intercept first, using the slope next, deciding whether it's a dotted or a solid line, and then where you need to shade. I know on number 3 for sure you will have to flip the symbol. You're going to have to divide by a negative. So pay attention to that. If you have questions, let me know.